Mark, would you be so kind to lead us in a quick invocation?
Sure. Let's pray. Father, thank you for today. Thank you for a new year, 2024. We pray that it'll be a good one for Los Fresnos and our city, our state, our country. And we just thank you for the ones here today that give of their time and their energy for Los Fresnos. And just ask you to continue to bless us all. In Jesus' name, amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to have our first visitor remark. This time we have Ronnie Sines. Good afternoon. If you'd like to come up to the podium, there's a little button. Go ahead and click the button. I think you got a timer there that you can see on the screen, and welcome.
Mayor, council members, thank you very much and Happy New Year. My name is Ronald Sines, and I'm a candidate for sheriff for 2024. Just to give you a little background about myself, born and raised in Brownsville, raised by great parents. I had 6 sisters. I've been married for 42 years. I have 3 daughters, wonderful daughters. Now I have 5 grandkids. I've been with the sheriff's office, served under 3 sheriffs. My first sheriff was with Marshall Rousseau, then Alex Pettis, and Omar Lucio. And under Alex and Ahmad, I was their administrator for a very long time. Did all kinds of narcotic works, criminal investigation, traffic, you name it, I've done it. I made a lot of changes to the department. And the reason why I'm running for the position as sheriff, because I want to do a lot of good things for our community. And on my platform, one of the things I talk about is the whole government. When I talk about a whole government, I'm talking about bringing together all the resources that we have available, not only with the federal government, but also the state level and local level. And I see that it's just not happening within the sheriff's office. And I think if we group, we could work real well with the city of Los Fresnos, the chief, and do more than what's happening, not only here in the city, but countywide, and have a good task force to combat anything. Because again, this city's growing, the county's growing. We've got a lot of good things that are happening. And if we don't have a good, solid law enforcement, especially with the sheriff's office, it just doesn't look good for us. So my goal is to get in there and make some very good positive changes, which I have under Omar Lucio's and Alex Pettis and Marshall Rousseau. And I'm going to continue that, but even better. So I just want to introduce myself, let you know what I'm going to do and who I am, and Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda items. We have a total of 8 consent agenda items. At this time, if any of the commissioners would like to set any of those aside, now's the time. If not, if there's a motion to be made.
I make a motion, we accept all 8 items.
I'll second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 1. Consideration and action for the mayor and council to support and participate in the 2024 It's Time Texas Community Challenge. Mark?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, it's a fun time of the year. It's Time Texas challenge is here, started yesterday. For the last few years, we've asked participation with a pledge from the council as well as the staff to participate in that. What it is, it's just a 8-week program that people that want to register, and they show healthy eating, they show exercising, they either individually or groups. And I just want to brag about Los Fresnos and Christine, because she heads it up. We kind of got involved in this last minute in 2018, and we got second place. In 2019, we got first place. In 2020, we got first place. 2021, yes, we got first place. 2022, yes, we got first place. 2023, guess what? We got first place. So, pretty cool, 5 years, first place, and before that was second place, and we're in the small city. They're ranked across the state of Texas according to population, so we compete with those cities the same size. Your pledge and commitment helps points to go towards winning that. Each one of your pledges is worth 5,000 points, I believe, for the city. And then the mayor, which he's done prior years, does a video usually, and that's worth 5,000 points, right? 5,000? And so it's just a video, short video that encourages our citizens to do it, and sometimes we make a challenge to somebody else. We do this as part of a health, keep our employees healthy, so we do a program here at the same time. In 2018, we had 35 people involved, 18 people. 2020, we had 21 of our employees. 2021, 18, 2022, and 2023 both had 22 of our employees actively involved in the program. So it's one of the things that we try to push to be healthy. Maybe we're not sick as much and we concentrate better. So anyway, that's the program, and we hope that you're supported.
Hey, Christine, just wanted to say a few things. I know over the years I've seen you lead and spearhead the program, and I just want to congratulate you on doing such a phenomenal job. I know that you're very consistent. You do go above and beyond. And we do live in an environment where there's a lot of diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and something like this kind of gets people moving in the right way to maybe give them the potential, like we talked about last time, to be able to live that extra year, that extra 2 years or 6 months. This could make a big difference, and it is making a big difference. I just wanted to just tell you thank you for your hard work and commitment, and let's win another year. All right, so if council would like to sign those and get them up and make a motion at this time, is the time to do it.
We'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the support to participate in the 2024 It's Time for Texas Community College Challenge,
I'll second.
Great, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Can we do a quick photo?
Yeah, let's do a quick photo.
That is part of the deal as well. Group and then individual.
She needs it for points. 1, 2. No points we can get. 3. We're going to 4.
Thank you very much. That was a great action item. Thank you. At this time, we'll move on to action item number 2, consideration and action to approve the Los Fresnos Police Department 2023 Racial Profiling Report. Mark?
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, The report's in your packet. Hector's here in case there's questions that I might not answer. It's a standard thing that we do once a year in January or February. They've got it done, so we thought we'd do it. There's two attachments, and I picked the second one because it's got the percentages. I like to look at percentages, so if you'll turn to page 83 in your packet, or if you're online, 83. And the total traffic stops were 8294, and then it shows you where the location of those stops were. About halfway down, you see right at 40% were female, and about 60% were male. The next page, on page 84, shows moving traffic violations, 81%, vehicle traffic violations, a little over 17%. Then was search conducted? No on almost 98%, so 8106. Yes, 188, there was search done, 2.27%. And then it goes into the next page on page 85 of, why was the search done? Interestingly enough, almost 1% contraband in plain view. Pretty weird that you would get stopped and you still have something in plain view. Never mind. Probable cause, 95, 1%. Inventory is sometimes we find it when they're doing inventory, like they're towing a vehicle for whatever reason. Incident to arrest, 37. And then was contraband discovered? Yes, on 120 of them. No on 68. And then what was found? Drugs, 85. Alcohol, 33. Stolen property, 6. That's all on page 86 and 87. One of the things that I don't think that people know enough, on page 87, it shows written warnings. There's 3,069 written warnings, or 37%. So once in a while you hear, well, why don't they ever give warnings?
What was that number again, Mark?
37%.
Thank you.
They do, it's officer discretion, depending on the circumstances, what the officer does. So citation, 61%. Written warning with an arrest, less than 1%, so very few of those. Citation with arrest is, again, about 1%, very few of those. The arrest, most of them are violations of the penal code. The majority, I guess, outstanding warrant, there's about 58 of those. Was physical force used? It's another thing. No on 99.98%. Only 2 stops had to use physical force for whatever reason. So anyway, that's the report. Something that we send in to the state each year, and it needs to be approved by you. But it's very good report, so that they're not targeting, the idea is for our officers not to be targeting certain individuals, and this shows that they're not.
Any questions from the board, or if there's a motion to be made?
I'll make a motion to approve the Los Fresnos Police Department.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
All those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Consideration and action to approve the Los Fresnos Police Department Police Manual. Mark?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, something they've been working on for quite a while, the same time that we did our employee manual upgrade. Just with the police department, takes a lot longer to review. It's quite lengthy, but they follow what the state law is and best practices, and so we'd like approval to, it helps with the updates. The company that does it, they do a lot of departments around the state of Texas, so they're very familiar, and it just helps. We don't have to be researching when all of the certain laws change and come into effect. They keep up with that and send us the updates, and we just keep moving. So we ask for approval.
I got one question. Does this include jail operations also, Chief? Does this include the jail operations in general also?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. Is there any other questions? If not, if there's a motion to be made?
Make a motion, we accept item number 3.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
And all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. Consideration and action to appoint a member to the Los Fresnos Housing Authority Board. I know that we have one already that's willing and able.
Yes, sir. And you're on page 91, Laura Rodriguez. She meets the criteria and willing to serve. And Mrs. Puga, the general manager of the Housing Authority, recommends that she be
So if she
approved.
lives there and she's qualified and she's ready to do it, I don't see a problem with that. Is there a motion to be made or any questions?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to appoint Laura Rodriguez to the Housing Authority Board.
I'll second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. Consideration and action to approve a proposed process to address complaints on reported speeding on residential streets. Mark?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we discussed this last meeting, but we were kind of in the middle of the speed check analysis. So if you'll turn to your page 93, it kind of gives you a view of what they found. For the most part, we don't have a lot of speeders. There is a few streets that have more than others. South Nogal, for instance, 23% of the people were speeding. If you'll know, South Nogal is the one that across from the library that goes south. You know, the speed limit's 30. There was five vehicles that were over. So 36 was the top speed. I just wanted you to know that. There was 131 and 3 of them at 34. So it's not a big speed, but if you've driven that road, there's no stop from 100 all the way to 10th Street. So, you know, the longer you get going, probably the faster. What we propose on that street is to get some of these digital speed limit signs, and we'll put a speed limit sign, and then right below it, it'll have the speed, and as you go, it'll show your speed. So that's been shown to really slow people down, keeps it in their mind. Oh, well, let me slow down. And so for that one, we want to try that. Hector's worked on pricing on that, and we can fit it in the budget for them, one in each direction. It's also, we can move it around if we need to. We can also purchase more if we need to. The next one's South Mesquite. Our testing amount was twice as many vehicles, so there was 8 vehicles above the speed limit, which is 17%. One of them going 40, 237, 135, 132, and 331. So, you know, the 31, 32 are really not doing that, going that fast. Mesquite is same direction there by Raintree. A lot of the folks are going to their 8th Street, going to subdivision, is it? Yeah, Legion subdivision back there. So don't feel like we need to do anything at this time on that, but you know, it might be something we look at later. Valle Alto is one that it comes and connects into Evergreen Street. We really thought that would be the worst because we get a lot of calls there. But it's 16%. Again, they're not huge speed limits. braking, two of them at 36, 135, 334, 232, and 831. So, half of them were, it could have been a speedometer issue. So 31, 32 is not that fast. And then the rest of them, East Resaca is one that but again, the top speed there is 34. Ville de Sur is one that had the highest speed is 41, but the rest of them were 31 and 33. So, and then the rest of them, you see some not even speeding at all. So, what we'd like to do, and you to know, is for us to continue doing the way we do. We get a complaint on a particular street, we conduct a speed analysis like that. A lot of times, and it's not always the case, is we know from a subdivision nearby or that street is where the violators are. In fact, some of the people call us and tell us who it is. It's their neighbor, but they don't want to say nothing because they don't want to have bad relations with neighbors. So we do a letter. We got a form letter we can send out and say, hey, neighbor, there's been some increased speeding in this area. Please pay attention. Safety, it talks about safety and all that. So something people can get and, yeah, I need to do better. The next thing we do is we've got a trailer that we move in, and it does show their speed that they're going if they're coming. That always does a good job of slowing folks down. The other thing we do, of course, is increase patrols in that particular area. Speed limit signs in the state of Texas, if there's not a posted speed limit sign, it's understood it's 30. Most people don't know that. So the other thing can be is we could add signs. Not sure that that's always good because some of these streets you can see people are going 21, 25, 23, and I'd hate to put a 30 and go, I've been driving too slow all this time. So I think we do that depending on what we find in the analysis. But anyway, we just generally increase awareness of the safe speeds. And then if we need to take additional steps, we can do that with coming to you with something else. But we'd like you to know that it doesn't go on deaf ears when you call, somebody calls you, or they call directly to us. We do take action, and for the most part, people are driving pretty safe.
Hey, Mark, any specific time frame that this is happening? During the day, Friday evenings, Thursday afternoon?
Most of this was done morning rush hour because we do it because generally speaking, they're hurry to get to school, get to work, and we found that that's usually the worst speeding time. Evening, people are coming home, and unless they've got somewhere to go, they're not as rushed, it seems like. So,
Mark, thank you for this analysis. I think it's a good first step to at least put together a process in place. That way we can show evidence of what's happening instead of, everybody's always going to say there was a car that sped, and sometimes looks can kind of be deceiving on the speed limit, but I'm glad that there's a process in place that we can always revert to. Thank you.
also wondered if you took the challenge that I made last time to have your spouse stand and you go drive at 30, or vice versa. You stand and have her or him drive at 30, because I think you'll think that it's faster than what you go, no, that's too fast. But anyway, we've done some of that with some people, and they've been surprised that, no, you were going faster, and no, we were going 30. So anyway, it's just kind of education.
Thank you. And I know this is just a approval for a process, so that's something that, it's good to know that at least we have some kind of process in place. Any questions from the board or a motion?
Yeah, I have a question. So that's the trailer that we have on East Resaca right now, right? The one that you have with is that gonna be moved around?
It's on East Resaca right now, but it can be moved wherever we have a problem.
So do we just move it whenever we need, or do we have like a calendar of where we're gonna be setting it up or anything like that, or is it just moved based on?
We move it and depends on where might be getting complaints, so.
The complaints for, these about 5 streets.
You want to hit the button, Mark, so that, yeah.
I'm sorry. Where we get a call from, whether they get it or I get it, we'll say, hey, move it to this location for a while. And then we target these areas that we think that are a little worse than others. We've had it like on 8th Street, but man, when we did 8th Street, it's not what we thought it was. We thought there was a lot of people speeding down 8th Street because they go 8th Street and then Omo down by the post office, but it just didn't pan out to show that, so. But yes, we'll move it around wherever.
So that's kind of the idea of the one that you want to put on Nogal, but
More permanent,
more permanent.
and actually on a post, and it'll show the speed limit, and then below it, it'll be the digital readout as you go by.
Something to consider.
Chief, I know other areas around the jurisdictions in Texas have residential speed limits at 20. What would be your, I guess, recommendation if that would be considered?
Well, there's certain areas that already have a 20 speed limit around the school area. Right now, I don't see a major problem, but there's something that we can look for towards the future if it, it continues.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to be made on this process at this time?
I'll go ahead and make a
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed process to address the complaints and report speeding on residential streets.
Motion made
I'll second.
and motion seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. Moving on to acknowledgement of city manager reports. Mark, is there any updates, or would any of the council like to have any questions about any of the assigned projects that we have?
On the street project, we should get West 5th Street, West 6th Street, and East 6th Street paved by the end of the week, if weather holds. And then they'll move Nogal. There's a section by the library that they're going to do. And then 2nd Street, East 2nd Street. So they'll be continuing to move, and Alamo will be torn up for quite a while. It's the main sewer line that handles everything north of there. Comes through that one line there, and so they're going to be replacing that whole line and all the sewer line and all the manholes before we do the street work.
Thank you for that update, Mark. I know we came out on Channel 5, I believe you were talking about the road repairs. So, yeah, that's great that we're doing some upgrades that are much needed. Any questions or comments or any more discussion about acknowledgement? If not, if there's a motion to be made?
Make a motion, we accept the city manager's report.
Okay, motion has been made
I second it.
and motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. At this time, we'll be acknowledging the department head reports. We have about 7 different reports on there. Is there any report any of the council would like to discuss? If not, if there's a motion to be made.
I'll make a motion to approve the acknowledgement of department head reports.
Okay, motion made
I'll second.
and motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye, and all those who oppose, do the same. Motion carries. The time is now 6:30, and we're going to deliberation pursuant to Section 551074, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, regarding the evaluation of our city manager. So at this time, it's 6:30. We'll go ahead and close the session and read back.
The other two as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Closed session in accordance to section 551071, the Texas Open Meetings Act, consultation with attorney to deliberate pending or contemplated litigation, and closed session to deliberate pursuant to section 551072, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act regarding the following: to deliberate the pursuant exchange, lease, or value of real property. This time, like I said, it's 6:30. We'll go to closed session and we'll come out shortly. Thank you and have a good day.